All right, so here we are with a Mason DIY 280 amp hour kit. Julie's got the cables and all the handles down there. We've got the foam going in between the cells, front panel, and then the rails that have the balance leads on them. And then the plastic cutting board pieces that line the middle. She just put the feet on, which are right down there. Whoops, right there. And what we've got over here is we've got a complete, well, sort of complete, the shell part of the bottom one. Now it's on a homemade dolly that I built on some casters that I bought off of Amazon. And they're supposed to be 500 pounds a piece. They don't look like it, but we'll see. We're gonna put 4 of these guys on this dolly, which should be close to 1,000 pounds. And so hopefully we've got some red oak that the base is made out of. I stuck some 2x4 rails on the side so we could hook these little clamp dealies here, so we could clamp the bottom case to that, and then each successive one clamps to each other. And then this is the back side of the BMS that goes on this one. So she's putting the handles in now, and then we'll put the lining, the yellow basically plastic cutting board stuff lining goes in here, and we'll get those together. They're built like tanks. These rails are really solid, and this middle piece is super solid here. So get this going, and we'll see how it turns out. So Julie's done with the cabinet here, the box. So she's got all the plastic lining in. We've temporarily got the front piece in here, but this takes some wrangling to do this front piece, because, you know, if you charge the cells up, oops, let me flip around here. This thing doesn't get near the screw holes, so you kind of have to really push on it and get these tabs here in, and the ears tend to bend and tweak a little bit as you're screwing it in. But when you get these 3 middle screws going, you can compress it in with the foam sheets that are down there, and then yeah, you finally get it all together, but it's really a pain in the butt. So anyway, onward and upward. This is our second box here, and one thing that trips us up every time is they do ship a couple of screws in. So like you'll notice on these the balance boards here with the temperature sensors on them, there's a screw right here, there's a screw right here, there's one at the other end and at the other end on that guy. They give you all the screws for them in the package. Likewise, same thing for the BMS board and the LCD screen. They say though in the manual, or I should say on the web page, that there's 10 of these little screws, and they're the same ones for the BMS as they are for the LCD. There's 10 of them that you get, but there's 2 in here and there's 2 holding this guy in when they ship it. Now, one of the things that they don't show you on their screws for is the fuse block holder. And the fuse block holder goes right here. It's actually a secret where you find those. And where you find those, I've already taken them out, or I should say JC did. This front panel here is what compresses the cells together. And they use those 2 here and over here to hold this guy in place for shipping. So when you take them out, you notice they're little short guys, because what they give you, where did I put them? Oh, they're over here. What they give you are these nice long ones here, which you really need, because once you top balance the cells that go in here, they expand and swell a little bit. So this guy has to slide out. Well, you need those long screws. I think they're M6s. Can't tell, but they're longer than the other ones. You need these in order to be able to get that plate to compress against the cells, because after you put the closed cell foam here on the cells, it really, you know, stretches out the space in that in those cavities here where the cells go. So FYI, everybody looking to do the DIY Mason kits, just note when they ship it, they do give you some extra screws, but they use those two for your fuse block to hold the hold that front plate in. So hopefully that helps someone out. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on the front faceplate right now. And what we've got to do first is we've got to take off these two screws. Lock it up. And then flip this baby over, and we've got to put a just to protect that guy there. We got to put a thermal pad. Let's get to our lovely bag of parts here. There we go. This is what we'll do. Alright. So we got a mark on there. Okay, so I got some marks right here that'll help me lay out where this thermal pad goes. Okay, so now we can put this guy back. And when we push this down in there, it'll get into that thermal pad, and that'll help dissipate the heat. Alright, so let's put this guy back in. I'm just going to snug it down a little bit. I'm going to get this one here, because this is on the other edge of that thermal pad. I just snug it down all that down in here, hopefully. I can hook these up now. So these go, they've got a little clip right here. They go to the inside like this. And they just kind of fit in there until they snap into place. Same thing over here. Alright, snapped into place. Got those guys in. This guy out of the way. Alright, somewhere in this bag of parts. Oh yeah, we gotta put this guy in. Right, that guy goes right there. So this guy's gonna go here, and then this guy tees here to come off the fuse blocks to go to the front terminals, so we'll leave him there. And I'm not getting these super tight, just snug, because there's no movement on these things, so no need to torque them. So we'll make sure we got our connections here are flush. Looks good. That's got a little something on it right there. All right. Okay. So let's get this dude on, and okay, it's not these. These actually go to the terminals. These long ones. So the biggest bolts with lock washers and washers go to the terminal connections, because there's There's two that connected here, and then this guy connects. That's why there's 3 on this side. There's 2 on this side, because it comes off of one of the shunts here and then goes across for those 2. And then, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. I think these go to the crossbars to the top. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. These go to the circuit boards that go across the top. So I'm missing some screws. That's an empty bag. Let's see what we got. Let's see, we're going to need these. We've also got the terminal connectors here. Should be 2 positive and 2 negatives. And then we've got all the bus bars. They got layered copper, and then it's chrome plated. Alright, there's the other negative there. There's the other positive there. This dude actually goes right here off of this guy of the terminal, connects to that positive side. Alright, we've got, here they are. There we go. So we've got screws for the terminals and that guy. And then what are these? These are more cabinet screws, the feet. Those. First 2 we open here. And we got a problem. I'm just snugging these in. I don't think they need to be torqued. No electricity goes through them, nothing like that, so we're good there. That is a 13 millimeter. And they give you 2 flat washers so that the fuse sits there. And then this dude sits in the front like that. Actually, wait a minute. Let's get that dude. Okay. There we go. Alright, let's get these on so we don't lose anything. Okay. And then, let's get stubby out here. Take these out. Don't like the fact they put screws in here, so they're Phillips and slotted. On the last one I did, trying to get them torqued, I don't know if I had it torqued too much, but I don't know. I have my torque wrench set to 5 because the guy in the video says pretty much everything on the board is 7. Everything is 7 Newton meters. I set it to 5. If you hear the beep, there it goes. If you hear the beep, it will, let you know to stop, but you don't always stop right away. So you go a little bit over usually, and if I'm really torquing on it, it'll it'll go over. So I set it to 5 so that way I don't go over 7. I usually get it somewhere around 6 something. Anyway, all right, so that's there. We can screw that down like that. Anyway, I ended up stripping these a little bit. All right, so while we're doing this, I might as well get this side. This guy goes like that and comes up and connects to the positive terminal. All right. So this dude goes, I think, right there. Is that right? It looks kind of torqued. Or does it go there? Well, let's see. Actually, I can put the negatives on. Now for these guys, so they go in kind of like that. These lay flat like that. And like I was showing, where is it at? This guy lays across both of them like that, and then he connects. This is a shunt right here. So what I do is there's some writing, there's some words on the bottom. It's got a model number, I think. And what I do is I face those down. It doesn't really matter because this rotates. So when you attach the cables, you know, they need to be in a certain orientation. But just to keep them all the same, I do them that way. So these guys take their own special panhead screws. So there's about, I don't know, that many. It's supposed to be 16. I guess that looks like about 16. So, whoop, that looks like about 16. So we'll find out. All right, so just gonna dump them out right here. And we'll flip this guy. Okay, so we're on there. So now we're coming down, and now they're going to sit on there. So I got to be careful. They're a little more rough or rugged that way than this one. I was trying to be careful and keep it on the pad of my keyboard there. Okay, so this guy, they got kind of a funky setup here. So this guy goes right across the positive terminals, and then this dude mounts to it. That's why you get a uneven amount of these good sized bolts here. Matter of fact, are these 13? Yeah, so these are 13 millimeter bolts too. And then the last one is the one that goes to the negative side of the battery on the shunt here. Okay, so this one has to go under, and then we'll stick this in and screw her down. Alright, so here we go. We've got our positive and negative side of the battery. Our terminals going out to the cables. We go through our 400 amp fuse across the positive side of the BMS, and then over here to the negative side of the BMS through the shunt and up to the negative posts of the terminals. And then this again is our display. So now what we need to do is torque everything down. And as I said, I've got this AC Delco. This is the 1/4 inch drive one. I've got the other two. I've got the 1/2 inch and the 3/8 as well. I really like them. So this is the ARM 313-2A is the model of this. So you just kind of turn it on and hold it level. And it will auto calibrate if I could hold it level. There we go. So it's set to 4. So I need to kick it up to 5. There we go. And I want to use the 13 millimeter. Alright, so let's get these. Okay, here we go. So you can hear it beep like that. Ooh, 7-Eleven. Alright, that's good enough. I mean, it's just a bus bar connecting to that terminal. Okay, here we go. 3, so 5.5. Okay, it's starting to bite. 591. Beautiful. Now I'm not going to do it on these because I'm just going to hand tighten those. They've got these, they're not washers, but they're little squares and they dig down into the bus bar pretty good. So I'm just going to get them pretty good hand tight. Good and tight. So the face is pretty much done. I guess I could put on the buttons. So I'll put these on. They got little rubber covers that go on the buttons for the BMS, or the display I should say. Alright, and they just kind of press on. Now, these BMSs are pretty close to what everybody uses in the rack-mounted batteries. From what I could find, they're as close as you could get, feature-wise. So, it was kind of nice getting this kit. And then you put this cover over the top, but you got to punch out these holes for the buttons here. So let's punch those out. Alright, so then we'll put this lovely cover on. Now the only thing you got to be careful is to line up the holes for the buttons, and once you get that in, it's pretty easy. Cool. And then you just peel off the beautiful cover and okay, so now we're ready to put this one on. So Julie's out there working on the cases. Let's see, I think that's it. This guy's ready to rock and roll. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to call this part 1 of the Mason 280 amp hour DIY kit from Seplos. We'll probably do 3 parts of this series because there's quite a bit of information to cover and some specifics that I want to point out, like I did in this video, of the different aspects of what you have to look out for when you put these batteries together. Now, we're going to be mixing 280 amp hour cells in half of the packs, and then some of the original 272 amp hour cells, which technically speaking, they go to 280. I mean, some that I've tested out have gone that far. So I'm going to retest those cells. Right now, they're currently behind me in production. They're the original batteries that I bought. So we're going to repurpose those inside the last 4 of the Mason kits.
So stay tuned for that, and we'll go over the whole process and get them in production. Talk about some of the idiosyncrasies that I noticed. We'll go over the software, and I'll give you some of my thoughts at the end as well. So, thanks for watching.